It's this teenager who makes these beautiful breakfast smoothie bowls. I was looking at his food art and I'm like, wow, if he can do it, why don't I try? And I tried and I miserably failed. But I was like, that's not a smoothie bowl. But that pushed me to keep wanting to try and try and try again. And if you look at my first pictures, they're atrocious. And even though I want to delete them, I'm like, no, this is where I started. And wow, look at where I am now. It shows the progress of where I started and where I am now. And that's what gives me motivation to keep on pushing.
Hola y bienvenidos. Welcome to Mole Mama Cooking with Love. Every week we talk about food and inspiring entrepreneurs and artisans. And this week I have a very special guest. I have the lovely woman from Fork Cancer. And if you aren't following her on Instagram, you need to go over and do that right now. It's Fork_Cancer because she has the most amazing photos and inspiring recipes on Instagram. I swear I look at these and I think I'm looking at art. Sometimes I'm like, is that real food? I'm not sure. But anyway, she is here with us today and I am delighted to have her so that we can learn a little bit more about her inspiring stories. And one of the things that has really resonated with me about this woman is that she talks about cooking helps her to forget. And that is something that I really resonate with because if you know anything about me, I have been on this journey because of losing my mother several years ago, and cooking really helps me to reconnect with her and to share her amazing recipes with all of you. So with that, I would love to welcome Fork Cancer with us.
Hola. Hi, everyone.
Hello, it's so nice to have you here. So first of all, could you tell us a little bit about how this got started and all this cooking and these amazing photos?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I truly appreciate it. It's quite an honor. I feel like a celebrity.
You are. Absolutely. Claim it.
Well, I got started actually in 2018, believe it or not. It was after a year I was diagnosed with breast cancer and going through all my treatments, radiation, chemo, hysterectomy, mastectomy, all the good stuff. And I was just there and in pain. But I found that when I started cooking, my brain disconnected from the cancer world, and that for that couple of hours or even 30 minutes, whatever it was, I was really able just to focus on something else besides the cancer and my diagnosis and what was to come and whatnot. So that's how my little venture in the kitchen started, and I just started posting pictures on Instagram, and it took a whole story all on its own, and then it grew to that little amount that I have now. But I'm very proud of my followers and very grateful for them as well.
Okay, I have like triple or quadruple the number of followers I have since I'm that small, girlfriend. It's awesome. So where did you learn to cook? Because these photos are like, what?
Well, maybe photos are deceiving. Who knows?
I don't think so.
Well, I to tell the truth, I used to cook only twice a week before I had cancer, which was either Saturday or Sunday. Besides that, we always used to go out in restaurants. I could actually say just Sundays, because Saturdays we were always out eating as well, but I'd rely on leftovers from my mother-in-law or my mother or whatever we could scrounge on, or if not, I would just do pasta, but store-bought dried pasta. And my mother always was in the kitchen cooking, a great cook, but I was just not into it. I was working, and when I came back from work, I didn't have time or energy to cook. So actually, that's it. I just really started cooking as of August 2018.
Okay, now you make me feel bad because I've been cooking since I was like 9 and my stuff doesn't look like yours. I'm like, okay.
Oh, please don't sell yourself short. Your blog and page is absolutely incredible.
Thank you. But I mean, wow. Okay. All right. So your mom was always cooking. Did you help her cook or did you just watch?
When I was small, no, I didn't really help her. I like no. She did her stuff. I was really spoiled, I guess, in that way where dinner was on a table, breakfast, lunch, and that was until I got married. And then when I got married, I was like, oh man, I have to do that now. But no, she was a great cook. My mother, who passed away unfortunately last year of metastatic breast cancer, was a great cook. She was Haitian, but she married my father, who was Italian. So she basically took on the Italian culture, and we ate very well Italian food. She used to cook delicious meals. She always made them from scratch. But no, I never really helped her. I was just more of an observer, like my husband is now, just observing.
Well, I'm sorry that you lost her. And okay,
Yeah.
it's just, it's a tough thing. And I need to go back for a moment because
Go.
I'm so impressed that through illness, you found food.
Mm-hmm.
And through illness, you found that was helping you to cope and to forget about what the other things going on with your life. Now, did you figure that out from somebody else, or did you just get an idea someday and went, I'm going to just try this? How did that
No,
happen?
I don't know. Perhaps I was just scrolling through something. Something must have triggered something where actually, yes, no, it was I forgot his name. It's this teenager who makes these beautiful breakfast smoothie bowls. I was looking at his food art and I'm like, wow, if he can do it, why don't I try? And I tried and I miserably failed. But I was like, that's not a smoothie bowl. But that pushed me to keep wanting to try and try and try again. And if you look at my first pictures, they're atrocious. And even though I want to delete them, I'm like, no, this is where I started. And wow, look at where I am now. I'm not, by all means, I'm not the most amazing food stylist ever, or food cooker, or like my recipes maybe aren't even that good. But to me, it shows the progress of where I started and where I am now. And that's what gives me motivation to keep on pushing.
And that is a beautiful story, is to just recognize where you've been and where you are.
Yeah.
That's because this latest photo of your salmon with the little polka dots, I'm like, really? Oh my. So where did these ideas come from? I mean, the recipe,
I don't know, like
style,
maybe restaurants that I've been to, the way they served it, maybe things that I come across. And again, I am not a cook. I don't think I've ever created something from my mind. It's always little things that I see here and there. And then maybe I could switch it up and change this to that. And that's how my pictures and my creations come about.
So do you have a photography background? Because they're so beautiful. Not only are they styled, they're actually the lighting, the background.
I have no photography background, and maybe the picture I post was my 99th picture. So by the time we get to eat, maybe I have to reheat it because it's like, don't touch anything. And I'm snapping away. But yeah, it's just fluke that they come out good.
They're so beautiful. And my
Thank
husband is the same way. He's like, when do I get to eat? Like, he sits there, it's like, am I going to get to eat?
Exactly.
All right. So what so far is your most popular recipe?
I was looking through, and I think that my most popular recipe, surprisingly, is not something that was that hard to do. It was a stack of pancakes with blueberries on top or around. But I think it was just popular in the number of likes because I was bashing my husband because he was being snarky uh, when I was trying to take a picture of it. And I like to playfully bash my husband or my family. And that gives me satisfaction to unleash my anger, perhaps. But that's the one that seemed to resonate more with my followers.
Well, let's talk about your snarkiness because it's great. I love it. Like you are sassy. So your posts are beautiful, but what you write is also just it's usually very fun to read because of your sassiness.
Thank you.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. I was always sarcastic in my life, and and the humor is really what got me through my cancer. When I look back, I posted all my journey on another social media platform where where you see the good, the bad, and the ugly of my treatments. But it was always through humor and not the victim for me kind of approach. And that's what really helped me, I think, keep my sanity through this incredible misfortune, I guess, that I had. But in the bad came out good. I met a lot of amazing people. I'm now cooking. I've learned and I've become such a different person since then. So I don't know. I guess like I said, I've been always snarky, a little, humor goes a long way, and that's what gets me through it. And that's what also makes people more at ease with my disease around me, with my illness. I mean, they see that I'm laughing and having fun with it, so they're not as scared to approach me and to open up to their own struggles.
Okay, that's a lot to process because that's so courageous and such wise words for all of us to hear about anything that, using humor to get through it.
Yeah.
Just fantastic. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to your food. That's what I'm like. I'm so into the food. So do you ever have any mishaps in the kitchen? Does anything go bad?
Yes, but that's usually when my husband gets involved.
It's all his fault. Okay.
It's like he always has to put his 2 cents. Oh, why don't we do this way or change that way? And then, it flops. So maybe, like I said, the picture looks great, but when you taste it, it's like, oh my God, what happened there? But I'm like, all jokes aside, most of my recipes or my food or whatever I made is pretty much edible.
That's good. Can you share with our listeners something that wasn't edible that you're like, it has to go?
Yes. So again, that's some potato gnocchis that I made, I think, last month. And I had frozen them ahead of time because I wasn't going to boil them right away. And I had told my husband to put them in batches in the water or else they were going to become undone. And he didn't listen to me and he dumped them all in. And of course, it ended up in a potato disaster of boiling things in the water. And we ended up eating, I don't know, stale cereal, I think, for dinner or something like that.
So did it all just turn into a giant lump of...
Yeah, a giant lump of potatoes, something like that.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I remember when I was much younger, I remember seeing that. I did the same thing. I overcooked like a bunch of spaghetti. It was just a lump of glue in the pot. It was like, because I think I was so young and I didn't grow up. Pasta wasn't a big thing for us when I was growing up because of my mom's cooking. And so I was making a lot of it. So I took directions and I multiplied the number of servings by the time on the package. I think I ended up cooking it for an hour. I was like,
oh my God. That's funny.
Yeah. So not knowing.
That's
all right. So are you working on a cookbook?
No.
Okay,
I don't think it would sell.
Wait. Okay, I disagree with that, but okay. And just let me share that because I'm working on a new cookbook, and what my editor has told me that even though book sales have been down, that people are still buying cookbooks. Cookbook sales are up. So,
Right.
just saying.
Yeah, right. No, I don't think I'm that much of a good cook to actually have a cookbook. I could perhaps have no, I don't know. I wouldn't have any book on sarcasm. Yes, maybe, but on
Yes.
cooking, no, not no.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying,
I'll let the experts like you do
no,
the cookbook
no.
thing.
A sassy cookbook might be kind of fun. So,
Okay, yes.
just saying, there's all
I
different
like
kinds.
that. I like
Yeah,
that.
see? Okay. Just planting that little seed for you. All right. So with all of this, what's been the biggest surprise since you started For Cancer?
My biggest surprise was uh, my followers, the love of the community that I built, the amount of love and encouragement that I got from strangers, because nobody really knows who I am. I'm incognito, and that's the way I want to keep it. I just don't. Even some of my family members don't even know I have this Instagram account. I just feel like it's more therapeutic and beneficial to me to keep that little side of myself hidden. But the love that I've gotten is just amazing. I'm blown away by all the followers that push me and encourage me through to wanting to do something different, something more, to post more recipes, and that drives me truly.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
'Cause I think that there are so many good people in this world. There
Yes.
are. There really are.
Yeah, we just need to open our eyes and see it, because there definitely are amazing people out there.
So, right now with our crisis going on and this virus that we have, do you have any words of wisdom to share with our listeners about any of that and how you're coping with it?
I don't know if I have any words of wisdom, but as I see this pandemic unfolding, I sit back and I thought to myself, wow, now more people get to feel what I'm feeling maybe on a daily basis. The constant fear, the not knowing if you're going to catch it or not, seeing the devastation around us, being more present also. It's not it's unfortunately in these times of uncertainty that we tend to go back to basics, understanding the worth of being less selfish, more giving, more sharing. I see my neighbors texting me, do you need something at the grocery store? I see people running errands for other people. We've come sadly to realize that it's in crisis times that we become stronger also, and less self-absorbed. So I think that once we do overcome this, and we will, that I hope that we maintain that same pace and same mentality of wanting to be better for ourselves and for others, and that's the only way that we'll be able to move forward in life. And now I'm about to cry.
Yeah, me too. Very beautiful. And they were wise words of wisdom.
Aw,
They were.
You're so sweet.
Well, it's like you said, you have been in a place where you're dealing with this kind of uncertainty. So, yes, wise words for us. And I see the same thing in my community, that there's a new level of kindness.
Yeah.
And I am so with you. I'm so hoping that it will stay. This kindness and concern.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that I am going back, because I grew up on a farm, to like lots of the things that my mother did with food. It's like I'm buying fresh, if I can find fresh green beans, I'm freezing them like she used to, and all kinds of things to just try to not
Can I
waste
ask
one
you a
little piece.
question?
Yes, absolutely.
So where did your passion come from? I hear you saying your mother, I think she was a very important person in your life. So let me know, like, where did you come with your name, Mole Mama? I think that means top in Spanish. The top mommy? Like, where did that come from? Or maybe I'm totally off, but tell me.
That's okay. So mole is actually a sauce in Mexican culture. So it's like our version of curry. And there's lots of different types. And if you perfect it, you are like the best.
The best. Yeah, okay.
So that's where the name came from, is that my mother's mole in my mind was the best. And so mole for me is the best in all of us. So finding that best.
Very nice.
Yeah. And just mama, because I loved her. So all my inspiration, yes, is from my mother. And I started cooking with her when I was very, very young. So yeah, but I've always loved to cook, loved to eat. And I've worked in digital marketing for over 20 years. And I had this idea to have a YouTube channel / blog a long, long time ago around family recipes. So and when she passed away, I finally said, you know what, it's time, I've got to do it. Because I pitched it to some big companies that I work for, and they're like, no, nobody's ever going to care about that. So here I am. So that's where it came from. Yeah.
Well, see, you have an amazing story of your own. I really commend you. You're really an amazing person. I'm very happy I got to meet you virtually, and I'm blessed to see also everything that you have accomplished.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I'm so thrilled that you agreed to come onto my podcast. I know that you are undergoing treatment as we speak, and the courage to join us and talk to us about some of your experiences is such a blessing. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Before we end, I wanted to know if you had any other advice or anything else that you wanted to share with our listeners.
Stop unfollowing me. No, just kidding.
See, there's the sassy sarcasm.
That's sassy. No, I don't care if you unfollow me. I got the unfollow app. No. Any words of wisdom? No, I don't. I don't know. That's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm very grateful for the opportunity of being on your podcast, for all my followers. I'm so very grateful. You push me every day, even if I'm not feeling good, and I've skipped a few days of posting, or maybe even weeks, because I just can't bring myself physically to doing anything. But then it's like, no, I have to do it, not because of my family, because to tell the truth, if I don't want to cook, I don't have to cook. Even now that I'm cooking more and more and more, it's really something that I just do because I want to. If it's an obligation, it's not going to be something enjoyable, and I'm just not going to do it. So my family is totally okay with that. So it's just really my community online that's really pushing me and driving me to do better and to excel, or whatever, perfection something. So I'm just grateful and thankful to all of you.
That's lovely. All right. So I want you, my words for you is to be well, and to continue to share your joy of cooking and escape with us, because it's fantastic. And I look forward to seeing what's next from you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to our weekly podcast. And as my mother always used to say to me, as we said our goodbyes, que Dios te bendiga. May God bless you, and be well, everyone.